Hey, what's going on guys? RageTrain here and welcome back to another episode of HYPIXEL SKYBLOCK, guys. I think this is now the third video in a row where I am going to be saying this, but I feel like I need to keep saying it because it's kind of insane. The support on this series at the moment is completely freaking blowing my mind. I think my last video, which covered that cheap way to get the leaping sword, is currently at like 12 or 13,000 views in only like a day or two. At the time of recording this, I have gained almost 500 subscribers today, which is the most I have ever gained in the entire history of my channel. But yeah, I'm just super excited to see this kind of support on these videos, guys, because I'm having a ton of fun playing a server, so I'm really glad to see that you guys are seeming to enjoy the videos that I'm making on it. But yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into today's episode. So if you are like me, you were probably greatly anticipating the update that has come out about a week ago now, which is obviously the end update. And so now that update is out, you obviously want to be able to take advantage of it by actually going to the end and grinding out the Enderman and trying out the new boss fight and all that type of stuff. But you may also be a little bit like me in the sense that when the update released, you were not fully prepared for everything it had in store. And in order to demonstrate what exactly I mean by that, I've gone ahead and thrown on my magma set here, and I'm gonna head to the end and show you what I'm talking about. So when this update first came out, I saw these Endermen and I'm like, oh, well, you know, they are high level, but this magma set gives me like almost 1,000 HP at the moment. There's no way I won't be able to take these guys. But as you can see, this one Enderman hits me about 5 times and I'm already dead. And at the time of this update releasing, I also was working with a golem sword, which if you guys are rocking a golem sword or probably even aspect of the end right now as well, you probably have noticed you don't do too much damage to these guys. So yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is that this magma armor and like a golem sword or like a gas tier or something is no longer as sufficient as it might have been prior to this update. So if you want to be taking advantage of this update and actually grinding these Endermen and potentially even going down into the lower levels here and taking on like the Zealots, Obsidian Defenders, maybe even the Ender Dragon boss fight, you're going to need some better gear. So today I'm going to be kind of walking you guys through what I think is the best set of armor if you want to be grinding this dimension. But first, before I get too deep into this episode and start talking about all that type of stuff, I do want to clarify that when I say the best armor for grinding in the end, I'm talking about a balance between stuff that is affordable and somewhat obtainable for like the average player, while also still having good enough stats that it actually will make it worthwhile for you to grind the end and you won't just be dying in like 2 seconds. So yeah, with that explanation out of the way, the first thing I'm going to be discussing here is the weapon I believe you should be using. So like I mentioned a little bit ago, when this update first rolled out, I was using only a golem sword, and I noticed very quickly that that thing was not going to cut it at all. I was just doing like virtually no damage to the Enderman, and it just wasn't getting me anywhere. But if you guys watched my last video, you will now know I have upgraded to a leaping sword, and that was honestly mainly for the purpose of grinding the end here. Because if you keep an eye on the damage I'm doing, you will see that when I crit, I do almost 5,000 damage. And when I don't crit, it ends up being around 2,000, I think. But yeah, being able to crit for almost 5k damage means that these Endermen on like the first upper level here, since I only have 4,500 health, if I crit, I can usually one-shot them. If I don't crit, it usually takes like 2 or 3 shots maybe. And then when I get down to these second level Endermen here that have about 6,000 health, it's always going to take me at least 2 shots to kill those guys. And if I'm super unlucky and not getting any crits, I think it should take at most about 4 hits for me to kill them. But as long as I'm rocking a good armor set, these Endermen taking 4 shots to kill at most is not too bad at all. Obviously, currently though, that is not working out very well for me because I'm still rocking this magma armor. As you can see, I just got wrecked by that Enderman there. And like I said earlier in the video, what I'm classifying as best is something that is somewhat affordable while also being very good. So that is why I'm ranking the leaping sword above the pigment sword or like the aspect of dragons or something when it comes to the end here, because the pigment sword is going to cost you like probably around 12 to 15 million coins, and the aspect of dragons is probably going to cost you somewhere in that range as well. And so overall, I think that the leaping sword is like your best value if you're attempting to grind the end. Now before I cover the type of armor that I think is going to be essential to you grinding the end, I want to say if you're not able to get your hands on a leaping sword, an aspect of the end might actually be sufficient as long as you get this armor set that I'm going to be talking about next. So now the armor set that I think is essential to grinding the end is the full ender set here, which obviously is dropped from these Endermen. Now I will admit this part is a little bit scuffed because you would think that like since this is something that you get by grinding the end, you shouldn't necessarily need it to grind the end. But the problem is this armor is so rare and the Endermen do so much damage you're probably going to end up spending way too much time trying to grind for this armor if you don't already have the set. And now for those of you who don't know about this set, the reason it is so overpowered for the end specifically is because all of its stats get doubled in the end. So you can see right now, I'm rocking actually more health than I had with my magma set on, and I have nearly 600 defense. So as before, where it took me like 4 hits from an Enderman to die, I'll actually head down here to these ones that have 6,000 HP, and you will see they can hit me like quite a few times, and I'm not taking too much damage. Now obviously they're still doing some damage to me, about 100 a hit, but I mean in comparison to the magma armor, I think they probably do like 300 or 400 a hit when I'm wearing that. And so once again, the ender armor may not be as great as like a fully maxed out like dragon set or like tier 10 perfect armor or anything like that. But if you're attempting to buy it off of the AH, it is also infinitely cheaper. I think I was able to get my full set here for somewhere between like 400 and 500k, and it's more than sufficient for grinding the end here. Like I only just picked up this ender set for myself finally today because I legitimately gave up trying to grind the end with the magma set because I would just die way too often. Even with the leaping sword, like 2 or 3 shotting every single enderman, it's just not enough because you get like hit once or twice by one and you're just completely done, dude. Whereas with this one, I have like a bit more of a cushion. I can get hit a couple times before I'm dead. Now, one other thing I do want to mention if you're going to be picking up the ender armor is in terms of reforges, I'm a huge noob, so don't take my word 100% for this. If you're pretty good with reforges, you might want to figure this stuff out for yourself. But as far as I can tell, it seems that Titanic would be the best reforger to have on every piece. I have not been able to get that on the leggings or the helmet yet because, as I said, I just picked this up for myself today and I was trying not to waste all of our money on reforges. But the reason I think Titanic would be the best is because by default, if you had it, it would already give you an extra 60 health and 60 defense. And so because of the bonus that these armor pieces have, you actually will end up with an extra 120 health and 120 defense. Also, another convenient thing about these armor pieces that you may not know, because I only figured this out recently, is that the bonus of these pieces are actually not a full set bonus. So like for example, if you only have the chest plate, its stats will still be doubled when you go to the end. And I actually haven't tested that out yet because I just bought the whole set together. But I'm interested to see like how well I could survive if I had only the chest plate on and then the rest of my armor pieces were my old magma set. So let's actually try that out really quickly here and see what happens. As you can see, only the chest plate on. Ooh, there's a runic up there as well. I might need to get hit by these a couple times. I mean, honestly, I'm taking a lot of damage there, but I mean, it's not as bad as just the regular magma set. I mean, let's kind of see what happens if I get 2 pieces on now and try to take on this runic guy with 36k health. Oh my god, this better drop a good rune for me. Well, he can't even hit me, so... Ooh, I just got a Clouds rune. I actually just got one of those earlier, too, so I can actually try and make a Clouds rune, too, a little bit later. Okay, let me get hit by these guys a couple times. Oh, you know what? They're only doing, like, 120 damage. So if you can actually get your hands on, like, 2 pieces of the ender set, which you could probably do for like 200, 250k if you're buying it off the AH, which is not too bad. I mean, if you have like a big farm or you use that cobble gen method, you could legit get that much money in an hour, then you honestly do not take too much damage at all. I mean, obviously the full set is going to be better, but 2 pieces here is not bad. Well, it's actually an interesting discovery right there. So there you guys go. I just learned something completely new to myself on video for you. Oh, and I'm actually going to put this magma set back on for a second, because even though I already showed you guys like how quickly you die to the enderman up there, I'm going to show you how quickly I will die to like an obsidian defender or a zealot if I'm only using this magma armor here. I bet they like 2-shot me. Yeah, basically 2-shot. I should not have done that. I had 7k coins from grinding the enderman. Oh, Jesus. Oh yeah, and one other thing I want to quickly mention is that make sure you put Feather Falling 5 on your boots. I actually don't even have Feather Falling 5 on my magma set, but for the end, that is now definitely something you want to have, because you'll take a lot less fall damage every time you jump down this big hole here, which if you're planning on grinding at the end, that is something you are going to be doing a lot. So yeah, now that we have the full ender set back on, we can see how much damage these guys will do to me. Okay, well I'm getting hit by both of them at once, that's probably not the way. But I mean, you can see I just got hit like 4 or 5 times there, and I still have like 300 HP left. So yeah, I think that should cover about everything in terms of the armor. The last thing I'm going to talk about is just for people who are interested in grinding any of the Ender Dragon boss fights. You're going to want to make sure that you're carrying a good bow on you. So personally, I did not have a bow myself until today as well, which was a big new move, because I think like 2 dragons have been spawned in lobbies I was just grinding in, and so I have not been able to do like very much damage to them at all. But oh my god, dude. Speaking of dragons getting spawned in my lobby, one just got spawned. What the heck? Dude, what is that timing? That is completely insane. Well, this will be a perfect time to show this off then, because today I went ahead and picked myself up this hurricane bow here. Now, obviously the Runaan's bow is a lot stronger than a hurricane bow, so if you can afford a Runaan's bow, definitely go for it. It'll run you probably about 700k or so, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less on the auction house. I personally went for this hurricane bow though, because like I said, I'm trying to save a little bit of money, not spend all of our coins right away. And I was able to pick this thing up for like less than 150k, I think, which seems insanely cheap to me. Yeah, this is actually super awesome that someone went ahead and spawned a dragon, because this will give me a great opportunity to show you guys why this hurricane bow is so essential. All right, so gate is now open, and so you can see the dragon is flying pretty fast, which is why the ability of the hurricane bow to shoot multiple arrows at once is very, very useful, because if you have like a regular bow that's only shooting one arrow, you're probably not going to be getting very many hits on the dragon. Now, even with this thing, I'm not doing very well on getting many hits, but honestly, all that tells me is I can only imagine how few hits I'd be getting if I had like a regular bow or something. I think these guys are definitely pros at fighting the dragon, because all three of the top people did about 2 million damage. And let's see what I got here. I got 3 old dragon fragments and an enchanted ender pearl, which obviously is not anything crazy, but in my opinion, this is a very good example of why you're just going to want to be carrying one of these on you if you're planning on grinding the end. Because like I said, I was able to pick up this hurricane bow for less than 150,000 coins, and I will actually head over to the auction house right now and head over to ending soon here. You guys can see 18 fragments right there selling for a little bit over 200k, and so in my experience, the dragon fragments sell for about 10 to 20,000 coins per. I'm not too educated in which dragon sets are considered better than other ones right now, but I would assume the amount that the fragments sell for is going to depend on like which sets people want the most right now. But I mean, you can see I barely did any damage to dragon at all, and I was still able to get 3 fragments. So that's going to be like an easy 30 to 60k, which is not a lot, but that has already paid back like a third of the price of the hurricane bow. So the bow is definitely a worthwhile investment in my opinion. Yeah guys, that basically covers everything I wanted to tell you guys in this video. The last thing I'll go ahead and do for you guys is give you some tips if you do end up getting some good gear and are going to spend a lot of time grinding the end here. So the first thing is these endermen are what drop the ender armor for you, and I believe the endermen with more health actually have an increased chance to drop the ender armor for you. So even though it might be a lot easier for you to kill the ones with 4,500 health, if you're able to do it, you might want to take on the ones that have 6,000 or 9,000 HP if you're trying really hard to get some ender armor drops. Now, the other 2 types of drops you're going to be looking for from the end are found down in the area where the dragon spawns at the bottom. Now, the first drop is actually the summoning eyes, which are used to spawn the dragon. You can get those by killing zealots. The regular zealots can have them, but if you see one with a portal frame, those ones I believe are actually guaranteed to drop you a summoning eye. Now the final drop you can get from the end is an obsidian chestplate, which is a very nice chestplate, and that can be obtained from killing the obsidian defenders here, which are the guys that run around super fast like that, which would make it seem like they'd be like one of the harder ones to kill, but in my experience they're actually easier to kill than like the zealots or anything else. So yeah, that's all the drops. Keep in mind guys, all of these drops are very rare, so if you want to get some of them for yourselves, you are definitely going to have to put in the time grinding. Yeah, that should about do it for this video. I'm probably just going to spend the rest of tonight grinding the end so I can hopefully get some of those drops myself and either sell them to get a little bit of extra cash, or maybe get them to my island member since he is still looking to get a full set of ender armor for himself as well. Once again though, thank you guys so much for all the support on the videos. I really do appreciate it. If you guys aren't subscribed already and did enjoy this video, I would really appreciate if you did so. Also, if you guys could drop a like on this video, that would be much appreciated. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say guys, so I will see you in my next video, hopefully very soon. See you guys then. Peace.